What is up, Colorado? Welcome back to another episode of Nuggets and Brews, where we talk Denver Nuggets and we get to drink Colorado craft beer. It's been a really long time actually since I've actually done it. Last episode I did was, I believe it was before a Clippers game or after a Clippers game. I can't remember. It's been that long since I've actually done a podcast, and I actually miss it. It's just with any new show or anything like you're trying to do that's new and you just kind of don't really know what you're doing, it's kind of hard to kind of keep the ball rolling. But you know what? I feel motivated. The Nuggets are in the playoffs again. And guess who we are facing? I mean, everyone probably already knows by now, but hey, we are facing the Los Angeles Lakers in a first round matchup, a rematch of last year's Western Conference Finals. I mean, why not? I mean, it was like the NBA perfectly scripted. Like, you know what? We're just gonna pencil these two in, get some extra ratings for the first round, and just create some instantaneous buzz. Because as soon as we knew the Lakers were facing the Nuggets, like Twitter just kind of blew up, and it was like the talk of the week. Basically, is like a rematch for what felt like a finals game, to be honest, even though it was like a Western Conference Finals. I'm super excited for it, and I'm so happy to be back doing these podcasts because, why not? It's fun. We get to talk Nuggets. We get to drink some awesome beer. So I'm going to do this episode, no notes. I didn't do no research whatsoever. I'm just going to wing it, just like we do in real life. I mean, might as well. But first and foremost, I just want to say, if you are watching this, I am recording this on a Friday night. Forgot already what day it is. Tomorrow's the game. It's at 6:30 at Ball Arena. And I just want to kind of get a few of my thoughts out there of my predictions and things like that, kind of things that I'm looking forward to. And also just to kind of talk a little bit of smack to Laker fans, because they've been so annoying this week. Like, absolutely so annoying, to the point where I'm like, I just kind of get away from Twitter for a little bit, because some of the things that these people are saying is like, I get it, y'all won 17 championships, but at the same time, that's old news. I mean, come on now. I mean, granted, yeah, 17 championships, that's awesome, congratulations, but like, it just sounds like y'all are a bunch of Nepo babies who inherited a bunch of championships and haven't done anything since 2020. And even before 2020, there was a long gap after Kobe, even when Kobe was still there, where I think what was the last championship in the Kobe era? Like 2010. So from 2010 to 2020, I mean, the 10 years of not doing anything. But then again, congratulations to the LA Lakers for, being historically great. I mean, who wouldn't want to be boasting around in any argument versus any other NBA team besides the Celtics? And they immediately end. That is like their backup argument to end anything, and it works, whatever. 17 championships, that's like literally you're talking about something about recency, and the immediate no, 17 championships, my friend, y'all have won one championship and y'all think, guys, we're talking about recency. Nuggets have beaten the Lakers 8 straight, dating back to December 2023. I mean, it's been a while. It really has been a while. But they've been competitive games. To be honest, they've been really fun, competitive games. But the Nuggets just have been able to out-execute the Lakers in late game situations under 5 minutes. And, I mean, because of it, the Nuggets were able to advance to the finals and beat the Miami Heat for their first championship. And, I mean, we're so high up right now. I mean, as Nuggets fans, we're so high up. We don't care. We don't care at all that you're boasting around your 17 championships. Nobody cares. In everyone in Laker town, absolutely, say it. Say it as much as you want. It doesn't hurt us anymore, Laker fans. We Nuggets fans, we don't care. It doesn't hurt us anymore like it did before, because we finally got ours, and we feel great, and we're going to enjoy this moment up until we're out of the playoffs. Hopefully the Lakers don't bounce us out. It'll be really sad. That would suck. But hopefully it doesn't happen, and I don't think it'll happen. So anyways, like we do in every show, I like to crack open a beer and kind of give a shout out to some of my favorite breweries. What we have today, the featured beer of the night, is from one of my favorite breweries. I'm actually wearing some of their gear as well. I got this sweet hat. Man, I don't think you can kind of see it, but if you can kind of see it, it's kind of like the play on for just Cerebral Brewing, but it kind of looks like that old vintage skyline rainbow that Denver's really known for that old school, excuse me, for that old school look. I really like it, but this is a beer that I picked up a few weeks ago, or actually last week, and I got this really cool cup to go along with it. So we're gonna crack it open, we're gonna drink it, and I'm gonna tell you how it tastes. I've already had one of these before, so it's more, just kind of having something to drink, and it being one of my favorite breweries, of course I have to put it on the show. So thank you again for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, X, whatever it is, subscribe, like, share. It'd be super awesome if you guys can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to grow it. So far I got 28 followers. So for all you 28 people out there who are watching it, thank you. I mean, come on. So yeah, again, I'm coming into the show super hyped for tomorrow. As a season ticket holder, it's just so exciting to be part of like another, playoff run to potentially go back to back. I mean, that is basically the goal. And so I'm super excited. And I can't wait for tomorrow. But let's pour this beer. I do want to go over a couple things that I do want to look forward to as far as like kind of some talking points that and other podcasts obviously I've been talking about, but just kind of give my perspective. For one, I want to look forward to matchups. The effect of Jokic Murray and how long that's been prolonging to their elite status of where they are now. And I want to talk a little bit about the Nuggets bench, and then just some key factors of what the Nuggets need to look forward to defend the Lakers, and kind of, who are some of the X factors for the Lakers, and just kind of what to expect as far as a matchup, because it seems like it's going to be another relatively close matchup. So let's pour this beer. I've been wanting to pour this beer for like a while. So let's pour it, and let's have a quick drink. Perfect pour every time. I've been doing this for a while. So I am live on Instagram right now, and I'm trying out to be able to put these full episodes on Instagram, and I'm actually hoping that the microphone that I set up with the phone is working, and I hope it sounds good, because it is a nice microphone. And I'm actually recording in camera. Usually I record right to the computer, so I'm trying something new, and hopefully it sounds good. I actually had like 30 minutes of setting up like the lighting and everything like that. I hadn't done a show in so long. I've been in other shows as well, in my absence of actually doing my own show. And I've actually enjoyed it, and I've actually been able to kind of get a little bit more motivated to do my own again. But it's just, I've been super busy with, working, because I do video editing, and I actually work for another, like a video agency, and we also do like some sports and stuff like that. So we're starting to do Nuggets as well, there as well. So, I felt like this was a great opportunity to get back into doing the show, and start promoting my own, not necessarily my own brand, but just kind of like my own self, and being able to kind of exert my thoughts of where the team is, where they've been, and kind of just talk Nuggets basically. So, cheers. Let's see, what is this, by the way? This is called Wheels Up. It's a India Pale Ale, so it's an IPA. And it's basically, it's actually super refreshing, and it's a little bit more fruity on like the more like fresher fruity side. It's got Citra, and Sabro hops. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's great if you happen to be in Cerebral or anywhere in that area, make sure to check them out. They're over by Colfax and Monroe, just a few blocks west of Colorado Boulevard and Colfax. So great brewery. There is another brewery out over in Lowry, I believe. I haven't been to their new location. It's supposed to be awesome. It's supposed to be a lot bigger, so I can't wait to go over there as well. Anyways, let's have a drink and God, every time I have anything from Cerebral, whether it's like an IPA, their Czech lager, rice lagers, their Dunkels, like anything that they make is just absolutely phenomenal. Like any chance I get to go to Cerebral, I'll take it because it's just phenomenal beer. They won so many awards. They won gold medals, bronze. I mean, they have so many options and beers that they've won medals that I mean you just can't go wrong with anything that they offer. So cheers. This is absolutely refreshing. It's so good. It's so great on a Friday night. Like, why not? I mean, it's Nuggets and Brews. This is what we do. But I do want to talk a little bit about like kind of why I took a little bit of a hiatus. It's just, again, I've been super busy. There's some family stuff that I've been having to deal with. Now that I'm having a little bit more free time and I'm kind of back to my own self again. But you know, moving forward, I am going to be continuing doing these types of shows where they're kind of just by myself. But I also want to start bringing guests on. I have some guests lined up that actually want to be on the show. They've actually reached out. They're super interested in the concept. And so what I also want to be doing, excuse me, there's that first burp. There's that first beer burp. So what I want to be doing as well is I want to be going to like different breweries and creating these really cool videos of the brewery itself, and then I want to be able to sit down and talk with like actual people there at the brewery. I want to maybe create a sign that says, hey, come talk Nuggets with me, and hopefully we get some strangers, come talk some Nuggets, whether they're Nuggets fans or not, just kind of get a perspective of the team, or maybe their favorite team, maybe they're a Lakers fan, come talk with me. So I'm hoping to do one episode at a brewery on Sunday, this Sunday after, you know, the day after the Nuggets game. So hopefully the weather's nice and I can, you know, maybe get a couple of people to come along. So look for that episode. I should be able to post it by Monday. It'll be more like a recap, and it's more like a kind of like a lifestyle type video where, you know, kind of go explore the brewery. Hopefully I can talk with the owner or maybe management, talk a little bit about the brewery, talk some Nuggets with them, have some beers with them. And yeah, that's kind of like my plan for the show. You know, be able to mix the two, because I do love going to breweries, and it's a Colorado thing, and I really enjoy how different each brewery is, and just kind of what they have to offer, and kind of like their styles and stuff like that. So I definitely want to combine the two. And yeah, so let's continue making cool content, and hopefully we get some new viewership and some new people coming on board and talking some Nuggets with me. So. Anyways, let's get into it. First and foremost, I want to go over this matchup between Lakers and Nuggets. That it's a rematch, but you know, a lot of the talk has been about the Lakers wanting revenge and potentially getting that revenge, which I hope it doesn't come to fruition. You know, it kind of like it was last year. I do expect it to be about the same this time around, with a lot more physicality. Last year, the Western Conference Finals, every game, it was a really close sweep. Like, I understand we swept the Lakers, and that was like an incredible feat, something that the Nuggets in franchise history has never done, which is one, beat the Lakers, and two, sweep them. Like, oh my God, that was incredible. But now it's this whole different team. Like, the Lakers have improved their shooting. Anthony Davis and LeBron James have actually been relatively healthy this year, and they've played some big games as well. They seem to be having a lot more fluidity to their game and to their offense. As much heat as Darvin Ham gets, he allows that team to kind of play a little bit more freely. And given LeBron's age, the man is still producing incredible numbers, and he's still a fucking freight train whenever he's running at you, going downhill. There's just not much you can do. He's still incredibly talented. The fact that LeBron James is still the best player on the Lakers at age 40, I mean, this man is amazing. Like, I used to love LeBron. And I loved him when he was in Cleveland because he was a great story. And when he went to Miami, it was like, oh my God, he kind of became the villain. And I didn't really care because like I didn't really follow the East. I just really liked LeBron and like kind of like what he was doing, because in his early career with the Cavs, he didn't really have the best of supporting cast, and so I always used to love LeBron, and until he went to Miami, I was like, I just didn't really care for it. But then he went back to Cleveland, and I thought that was also another fantastic story for him to defeat come back from a deficit in that finals against the Warriors. That was a phenomenal story. And so, my fanship for LeBron was like, oh yeah, this guy's really cool. So, and then he went to the Lakers, and it was like you went to the one team we Nuggets fans absolutely detest. So that was like something else. But I digress. What I'm trying to say is like this Lakers team is just as tough as it was last year. They've added some shooting with Gabe Vincent. Austin Reeves has taken another leap forward. His handles have improved. His defense has gone a little better. Now, he's not the best defender by any means, but he's also kind of lanky. He's kind of, he's a little big. He seems to have gone stronger this year. So he and D'Angelo Russell if they're streaky like they kind of are, they can get hot in a minute. And if we can't contain that, that's going to be a little hard because, now you have to basically start, creeping a little bit closer to D'Angelo Russell and sticking a little closer to Austin Reeves, and you start kind of forgetting about LeBron James, Anthony Davis. So they've added some really good pieces, but and they've had good continuity for the past, 2-3 years, with the core of LeBron James, Anthony Davis, but now they've had a couple more years with Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell in that mix. So it's going to be the familiarity aspect of this matchup is what's really intriguing. This is the third time in third time in 4 years that this team has faced each other in the playoffs. First time in the bubble in 2020, obviously last year and now this year, and so there's a lot of like kind of understanding how each other plays. That's going to be very crucial, in those clutch minutes, because it's going to be a battle of wills. Who wants it more? Who's willing to kind of dial it in at 110%, both on the defensive end and also being able to execute, at the offensive end at a high rate. And not being able to turn the ball over or anything like that. So both teams are actually very susceptible to turning the ball over. The Nuggets kind of play this very reactive style of basketball. They have their set plays, but they are a kind of team that likes to, react they like to react on offense as the defense kind of show what they're trying to do. And so that's what makes the Nuggets kind of great, because they have all these different counters that they can throw at you based on kind of what you're doing on the defensive end. But the Nuggets are kind of prone to getting a little cutesy here and there, but that's more of a regular season type thing where you'll see a couple things here and there where, and that kind of frustrates you as Nuggets fans, like, oh, guys, just do the right play, don't get too cute. These are crucial minutes. I don't think you're going to see that in the playoffs as much, but given the size and kind of the physical nature that the Lakers play with, there'll definitely be moments where the Nuggets are susceptible to turning the ball over. Just make sure you get back on transition. So it's going to be very interesting to kind of see how each other, since both teams really know each other very well, and there's a little bit of, I wouldn't even say there's bad blood between the teams, because there's really they really respect each other. They really do. And you can tell from last series as well that they really respect each other. Every time someone would hit big buckets in each other's faces, I mean, you even saw it with Anthony Davis where, you know, Jokic would hit a big shot and Anthony Davis just kind of, Mike Green would be like, Anthony Davis just staring at him. So it's those type of moments where they have this mutual respect for each other, and Jokic back. Like anytime Jokic gets asked about LeBron James or anything like that, or just anything related about, you know, the stars of the Lakers, Jokic has he always has great things to say and very insightful things about, you know, everybody else, and it's just there's just this respect factor from both teams that make this series incredibly fun to watch, because they both know what each other has, and they know that each team has like a set of limits that, you know, they can counter each other with physicality, execution, and just downright like cerebral type cerebral with cerebral type, you know, mentality of like being able to control the game and being able to like dictate exactly what you want the other team to do. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, is just that you know, that familiar, I can't say familiarity today, oh my God. So just the overall closeness of how they know each other. I'm gonna take a quick break, mostly because I have to kind of break up my videos into 30-minute segments. I'm already in minute 22, so I'm gonna pause my camera. I think I'm still rolling on Instagram, so hopefully I'm gonna go check it out. Hopefully I got a little bit more people tuning in. After the break, I'm going to go over the greatness of Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray and kind of how they got to this point. And also, I want to talk a little bit about the bench, not what I expect, but also what I hope happens with the bench, with the Nuggets bench. And then I just want to kind of close out with predictions, and that's it. So yeah, let me take a quick break, and I'll be back. You are watching Nuggets and Brews. Welcome back to Nuggets and Brews, where we talk Denver Nuggets and we get to drink Colorado craft beer. Again, my name is Misa. Oh my God, this is how long I haven't been doing my show. I didn't even introduce myself. Misa, I'm your host for tonight. Nuggets and Brews. So we were just talking about a little bit about the Nuggets Lakers. Now I kind of want to talk about Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and kind of about, just kind of go over a little bit about their greatness. We know about Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, and how great they are, but I kind of want to talk about like kind of, where they were and how they are now, and kind of what the perception is of both these players, especially as a duo, because they, as we all know, Jokic is great, and so is Murray, but when you put them together, it's like, they're just like this incredible duo, they're just phenomenal. So, as you know, in 2019 or 2018, 2018, that 1 year where the Nuggets were just kind of on the come up. They're finally over 500, I believe, and they had to face the Minnesota Timberwolves, which was led by Jimmy Butler at that time. They had to face, it was like a last game basically of the season. Winner gets to get the number 8 seed to play. I can't even remember who they had to play that year. But that kind of started, and it allowed Jokic and Murray to kind of blossom into who they are now. It was kind of like a snowball effect. Obviously, it was, we're 5 years removed from that. But that was kind of, for me, that was kind of like the starting point of their ascension to greatness and their next step of their evolution as a duo, and both as individual players. Who would have thought that a couple of years later, Nikola Jokic was going to win his first MVP during a COVID lockdown season? So it's amazing to think back of like where we were just 5 years ago and just how ahead of schedule we are right now. I personally didn't have the Nuggets win the championship last year. I thought they would get, really close up to Game 7. Even if they was to get to a finals, I never thought they would get the benefit of playing the Heat, which was, no disrespect to the Heat. We ended up finding out that the Heat was just not that level that the Nuggets were. So now this year, we're kind of looking at the ascension of Nikola Jokic and just how dominant he is, and then we have Murray, who they're both. One is better than the other in their own aspects, but when you look at them together, they've grown up so much and they've learned so much from their mistakes. They're at this elite level right now, where they haven't even reached their peak, which is kind of like a scary thing to think about for the rest of the league. For us, for us Nuggets fans, like, oh my God, there's more levels to these guys, and they haven't even reached their true peak potential. Especially for Nikola Jokic, you're talking about a guy who shoots lights out at a such low not low percentage, a such low usage rate as far as like how many attempts. Like, obviously Nikola Jokic he touches the ball pretty much a lot. His usage rate is high, but like his attempts are relatively low until he actually has to go full God mode. Murray, on the other hand, he's coming off. Obviously, he's coming off a championship, but last year, let's not forget, all that beginning of the season, he was coming off of that devastating injury that sidelined him for a year and a half, and so Murray's still in that developmental aspect of his game. He himself still hasn't reached that next level, that elite level that Stephen Curry, Damian Lillard, even Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Some people say that he's better than Murray, but I'd say that Murray has like a higher ceiling just based off pure athleticism, shooting, and just his like Kobe-like mentality. They're both, Jokic and Murray, are still in this. They're at their prime, but they're very early in their prime, and that is a scary thing to think about if you're the NBA. If you're kind of looking up at the Nuggets, Jokic hasn't reached his peak, and neither has Murray, and so the question is like, where do we go from here? And that's where we start talking about dynasties and stuff like that. And yes, we're kind of ahead of ourselves. And yes, but as Liv Moots, who was just on a podcast with, she said this perfectly. Like, we have to win the first one to be considered a dynasty. And so now, where Jokic and Murray is, how can both these teams like now start taking the Nuggets to a consistent level of contending for championships? Because before, we used to be playoff contenders, right? Up until last year, where we won the championship, we were just playoff contenders. And granted, yes, that was very, that was always very respectful of other fan bases to agree, like, hey, you are playoff contenders, I just don't see you win a championship. And I always felt like, hey, that's fair, that's totally fair. But now we're reaching an era of Nuggets that we've never seen before. Like, we're in the stage as Nuggets fans, and just in general, we're in a stage where we've never been here before. We've never had to defend a title. We've never had to be perennial championship contenders. And so, for me, the way this is shaping up is incredible. You're talking about two elite guys who both have said, I want to be a Nugget for life. I want to be here the rest of my career, and I hope that happens, because I remember this quote from Jokic, the quote might be a little offsetting, but or not accurate. But Jokic basically said he wants to be the Tim Duncan of the Denver Nuggets. And when I've heard that, my eyes lit up. I was super happy to hear that. And then recently, Murray kind of said the same things along those lines of him wanting to be here in Denver for the rest of his career. And so you have your two corner pieces now moving forward. And I'm super, now we've seen 5+ years now of developing players and, building this perennial championship contender. And so now we're in this era of like, now we're here. And so we almost like don't know how to act at times because it's the future is so bright for the Nuggets. And to be where we are now at such elite level, it almost like I just feel incredibly blessed to be alive in this era where it almost feels like we're gonna be in here for a long time. And with Jokic and Murray being the cornerstones and the centerpieces of the franchise, the Nuggets are here for a while. And whenever people this year specifically, and now in this Lakers series, when they start talking about like, hey, the Nuggets they might sweep the Lakers again, or it might be over in 5, it's not to diss the Lakers in any way. It's just like the Nuggets are finally getting recognition for the hard work that they've put since Malone's got here to change the culture, to allow, to make the tough decisions of letting of Yusuf Nurkic go, letting Jokic start, and then, you draft Murray, you draft Michael Porter, you bring in KCP, you bring in Aaron Gordon, and you start letting go of like pieces that just didn't work, like Will Barton, Paul Millsap. As much as we loved him, he was just aging, and he wasn't going to come back. And Nuggets just kind of wanted to move a different direction, and now we're here, and we're getting ready to contend for a repeat and defend the title. And I couldn't be more proud to be a Denver Nugget right now, because in the era that I started watching basketball, it wasn't the best, it wasn't the greatest, but to see the progression, after those George Karl years, oh my God, what was that coach that came after George Karl? That's how bad he was. I totally forgot about him. Anyways, who cares about it? But now we're in this great era, and it just feels amazing to finally be where we are now. So, man, that's super awesome, and I will drink to that because we're Nuggets fans, we're champions, and again, I can't wait for tomorrow to get it going again, because these are the games that really matter, and this is why we watch all 82 games. I actually watched all 82 games, and and we're finally, and it's over. Great regular season. Nuggets finished number 2. Awesome that things shaped out the way they shaped out to be, where we ended up at a pretty good seed. And in our eyes, we have not necessarily a favorable matchup, but a matchup that we definitely feel confident about, and it should be a fun one. So, cheers, everybody. Oh, that's so good. All right, anyways, let's talk about the Nuggets bench a little bit. During the regular season, the Nuggets bench was a little inconsistent. Excuse me. I've had allergies like all day. So the Nuggets bench this season has been a little bit of an up and down. And most of that has to do with, some of it. Obviously, you lost Bruce Brown. It was an integral part of that bench unit, especially defensively, and the pace at which Bruce Brown liked to push, the tempo whenever he was in with the bench. Now you're having to rely on younger fellas like Christian Brown, Peyton Watson, and now you've integrated Reggie Jackson, who was really good earlier in the season. He was pretty solid. Obviously, had a rough end to the season where a lot of people, were kind of doubting whether he should even be part of the rotation for the playoffs. I wouldn't go as, I mean, there was definitely some frustrating moments with Reggie Jackson, but he's a veteran, and I think, and I feel like he's going to reintegrate himself. The time off that the Nuggets have had recently, I think is definitely going to pay dividends for Reggie Jackson. So, I mean, let's not forget the dude is kind of old, and he's played a lot of basketball in these years, so it'll definitely do him some good. But it seems like after the All-Star break, before Jamal Murray got hurt, that bench was rolling. I mean, they were attacking. They were being very decisive with their passes, with their shooting. They were getting out and running, dunking on people. And it seems like Christian Braun has finally hit that turbo mode a little bit towards the end of the season. He was getting a little bit more minutes than Peyton Watson. And so for me, Christian Braun is going to be that X factor, and I hope he's a consistent X factor, because last year he did have some great moments in the playoffs, but again, it was mostly Bruce Brown who had those like impactful minutes, and all you want from the Nuggets bench is like just be solid, aggressive, consistent, and just play your game. Don't do your best to not turn the ball over, but be as effective as possible and not give up a lead. Or, if you come in as a bench unit and you're kind of down, don't elongate that deficit. So it was going to be crucial moments for the Nuggets, even though Jokic is going to be obviously playing a lot more minutes along with the starters. Those bench minutes are going to be incredibly important to either sustain a lead or not give up a lead. Having said that, there's a lot of trust that Malone has for Peyton Watson, Christian Braun, and I want to throw Justin Holiday in there. He might also get some playoff minutes in there, which I personally don't mind. The only thing I'm kind of worried about, I've said this in another podcast, is rebounding. But given how Aaron Gordon has, progressed, and he was so banged up, you'll definitely see him a lot at the 5, and you'll see him a lot with the bench unit at the 5, and I actually like that move a lot. And here's why. You get a chance to play a little bit of small ball because you can have Aaron Gordon at the 5. You can throw in Michael Porter if you want at that power forward. And then you have Peyton Watson, Christian Braun, and then Reggie Jackson. And so that unit itself is very lanky, kind of tall, not super bulky. They might be a little bit susceptible to size, but if you can get some stops and get out and run, that team is incredibly fast, incredibly long, and that unit itself is very athletic, and that they can definitely get some easy buckets and can create enough disruption on the defensive end just by, their sheer wing size and wingspan. So that is definitely a lineup I'm looking forward to. We did see it a little bit during this regular season, but we didn't see it a lot. It was almost like a break glass type situation. So hopefully Malone, goes with that unit, but that'll kind of leave, some weird rotational minutes of overlap where you have Murray, Jokic, and then and then KCP, and then who are going to be those other two pieces when you're having to use Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter with the bench. So it's going to be an interesting rotation, and Game 1 is going to really show us a little bit of kind of what Malone is thinking of how to attack. You'll definitely see some weird things here and there for Game 1, just to kind of see what works and what doesn't. But I would really like to see that lineup. I think it'll be an awesome bench lineup to throw out there. Because again, the Lakers, aside from Anthony Davis, Rui Hachimura, he's not like your typical big. Who is the other backup that they have there? He plays a little frenetic. I can't remember his name. So I don't see a whole lot of size from the Lakers bench either. So this could be a good opportunity to kind of roll Aaron Gordon out with the bench at that 5. So, oh man, there's so much I still want to talk about, but I want to make my episode, less than an hour. So I'm going to wrap this up. Let's do predictions. Obviously, I do expect the Nuggets to win this series 5-1, but it's going to be another super close, series where it's going to be determined by 5 points or less. These are going to be nail biters. But I just feel like the Nuggets are going to be just a little bit better in those crunch minutes when it really counts and when you really need a bucket. Jokic and Murray, and I'll even throw Michael Porter out there. Michael Porter's going to have a big series. I believe that he's going to at least average 20 points or more, and he might even have a 30-point game in one of the games in the series. So Michael Porter's going to be incredibly crucial. He kind of struggled last year, but this year, him playing 81 games and being more involved in the offense and just his offensive game evolving, and also he was great this year on defense. He's going to have a great series. So Nuggets are going to take the series 5-1. 5-1, 4-1. Oh my God, what am I saying? In 5 games. Oh my God, it's late. I'm sorry, guys. Nuggets are going to take this series in 5 games, 4-1. They should probably close it out here at home. I think that's probably what's going to happen. But for game 1, I'm just going to throw a random final score prediction like I always do. So Lakers at Nuggets at Ball Arena. I believe the Nuggets going to win game 1. I want to say it's going to be it's going to look a lot like last year's game 1, where the Nuggets kind of took over late and just not necessarily blew them out, but created such a big difference that it looked like a little bit of a blowout than what the actual score entails. So I want to say Nuggets get the win for game 1. Nuggets 117, Lakers 109. Yeah, you heard it here first at Nuggets and Brews. My name is Misa. Thanks so much for watching. Let's go Nuggets. Again, Nuggets 117, Lakers 109. Let's go Nuggets. Cheers. Thank you for watching Nuggets and Brews. My name is Misa. Adios, amigos.